Using any three prescribed poems show that the problem with Africa is with its leaders. This is a question on poor governance. In rulers, the Poko makes us to understand that African leaders are incompetent. They are corrupt. They want to stay in power until they die, whereas they have no roadmap to development, to meaningful development that will benefit not only the country, but its people. They live lives of extravagance in their castles, drinking champagne while the masses suffer. But there are every indication with water rolling backwards to tell them that the end is near. In upheavals, the Boko gives a warning of bad omen with rain falling continuously to show that the end is near. And the president's followers, who are simply referred to as what? Cats. They want to escape and abandon him. In rollers and upheavals, the Poko makes us to understand that Africans are ruled by gorgeous parrots. President physically, but who are being controlled by their colonial masters. And this is in this way, there is no meaningful development which can take place because all the exploitation of the mineral resources or the riches of the land go to benefit their white masters. In no coffin, no grave. Angira makes us to understand that the politicians that we have are incompetent. They rule for themselves. They serve themselves. The politician has built a wonderful mansion. He has dreams of being buried like a hero with all military honors. And he wants that there should be a lot of beer on the day of his funeral. Yet, his electorate lives in poverty. They lack mosquito net. They lack food. They lack drinking water. They lack good schools. Whereas, most of the money that has been embezzled by the politician, he uses it in living a flamboyant and extravagant life. He visits the nightclub every day with many girls flanking him left and right, where he spends money lavishly. His end is tragic. Probably shot by one of his opponents, political opponents, and abandoned in front of the nightclub, where vultures perform the post-mortem. This is a warning to the bad politicians in Africa that they will end in the same way as the politician. In the analogy, the poet wonders why the country should have so much resources, yet it is suffering from poverty. He says it's caused by a worm. That worm is corruption that has eaten deep, institutionalized corruption. And the poet's message is that if African leaders can simply use these resources in a very judicious manner, Africans will have no reason to regret. That carries me to leaving the country. People are not leaving the country because they prefer to stay at home. Home is home. There's more comfort in living in one's country where you live in dignity than to live in a dishonorable manner in someone else's country. But the economic hardship is pushing people to do so because the leaders are not making the effort to steer these countries towards the right path of development. And lastly, in the casualties, the war is a struggle for power. Leaders at loggerhead with one another. No one wants to listen to the other's voice. And when the war begins, the leaders flee, go and live comfortably abroad, while the masses who had no say at the beginning become the victim. The poet puts it in the right way. We will all be casualties because we will lose one thing or the other. People will lose loved ones. People will lose their property. People will lose their livelihoods. And above all, it is a dance which can easily start, but no one knows when it will end. The leaders who start these wars are not there to see the piles of human bodies, human lives that have been wasted because of their careless and recklessness. And crown is up. When there is a war, it is just a celebrated cases of kwashiorkor. People will die because of famine. This is Clark's poem to Chinua Achebe, who served as Biafra's ambassador at the time of the Biafra War, to tell him about the futility of war in settling differences among people. Thank you for listening.